So you click the title, said just finished Ratchet and Clank Cracking Time for the first time after 13 years. As recording, we're still in 2022, November 6th to be specific. And you're probably wondering what's so special about that? You just everyone beats games that are kind of old now, right? Like we've gone so far into gaming, and we're on like I don't even know what generation Xbox now, and we're on the PS5 and all that, and people are oh my god, I'm gonna sound like an oldie, but we're playing games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, battle royale games generally, and like new Warzone updates and all that stuff. And Modern Warfare 2, 2022 just came out too. So I don't know. I live in an era right now, well, we all do, where all that's the main stuff, and I am a gamer that's just starting to get out of touch with the gaming world. And I think this has been happening for the last. This is now a video where I reconcile and come to terms with the fact that I'm getting old. No, well, a little bit, but let's hear me out. So I loved Ratchet and Clank, right? Let's give a little backstory on me real quick. Not too deep. I played Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, 3 when they first came out for the PlayStation 2. Love those games. Even dabbled in the Jack and Daxter series and all that stuff. And the years go on. I had a PS2, Xbox 360, and then never dabbled in the PS3. It was around then, and all my friends but me got the PS3s, but I had some buddies on Xbox I met online, so I stuck with Xbox. And so I missed out on the Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction, but I remember thinking that game was so cool. It's the next step, it's the next generation, way better graphics than the PS2. I thought, wow, I'm missing out on Tools of Destruction. Little did I know, Tools of Destruction is closer to the mainline Ratchet and Clank games compared to like A Crack in Time, which is actually quite innovative, and I did not know that till I finally beat it. So, because people nowadays, after it's been 13 years, as I said, Tools of Destruction is just a forgettable, just comes out with a PS3 type game, and then A Crack of Time is really the one that people remember. It's the part 2 to that anyway. And, I think obviously that game was supposed to be seen as like, here's the PS3 technology, here's another Ratchet and Clank, be happy, and people were, and it was like, nice. But then people beat the game, and it was like, you know what? There's not really a lot of substance here. I feel like I don't even remember anything, and that's kind of how I felt when I beat Tools of Destruction for the first time. It must have been like in 2018, 2019. I think I checked my save file and said I beat it around then, because many years later, I somehow get a PS3 for free. A friend of a friend leaves it at my house, never remembers it. I don't even know who left it here anymore, and that type of thing. And so then I asked my other friend, hey, you used to have a PS3. Can I have some of your Ratchet and Clank games, your Sly Cooper games I never got to play growing up? And, I made a little collection of games to catch me ups. And the point of this video is not really to talk about A Crack in Time specifically. I will give my little thoughts on that. But it's more about the idea that, like, I think it's very interesting that we have to make that decision, especially when it comes to like the console wars and stuff like that. Imagine like it's 2007 or something, or what it could even be now for you. You have to pick a console. You can't have all of them unless you're dirty rich or your parents don't love you and they bought you every. No, I'm joking. To compensate. No, I'm joking. Maybe ask your doctor. Anyways. But the point is that you had to choose a console. You couldn't buy all of them, so you had to pick one, commit one, and hopefully it was the one with all your friends on it and all that stuff. And that's kind of where you go, and you kind of live your gaming life for at least 5 years, right, until the next generation, or something like that, if you can afford the next generation after that. So with that, you miss out on the other side, right? So I stuck to Xbox 360 when I had to move from the generation of PlayStation 2, Xbox Original, and GameCube. I had to move to the Xbox 360. That was my choice because I had Halo 3. Gears of War really looked cool to me, and Guitar Hero when that was starting and all that stuff. And I had to leave most of my friends I knew in real life they went PlayStation and I went Xbox. And I remember at the time I would feel that, like, the Xbox 360 had the better controller. It had Halo and all that stuff, and my friends were jealous. They were a little bit jealous. They're like, oh, they got Halo, and Call of Duty kind of feels a little bit. I'm being a little biased when I say that. It feels a little better on the Xbox, but I digress. Point is that they missed out on certain things. I remember my friend and I missed out on certain things. My friend, I remember once, he had a Wii and a PS3, just not an Xbox because he had a PS3, right? Why would you have both if most of them have the same games, more or less, except for Halo and all that stuff? But because he couldn't get an Xbox, he ended up buying what was it? Metroid Prime, the 3D or the second one, the one where it's 3D and it's first person, because he needed his Halo fix when he was not at my house. So it's little things like that make you, you have to make a choice in the road as like a child gamer. You know, when you're 12, 8, like 18, doesn't matter. But you got to make that choice where you take down a road. And the plan is that 10 years from now, you know, when the game, as most games, as like even back in those days of, I eventually switched to PC gaming, and then you starting into emulation games like Game Boy games on your computer, or GameCube games on your computer, PS1 games, stuff like that. And that comes the idea that, like, you know what? I'm going to play these games when they go down in value, when the Xbox 720 comes out, or the Xbox 9000, whatever it is in the future you try to predict. Cue in those videos of those consoles that never exist, that are weird, funny concepts, and like, you know, it's like I just said, the Xbox 720 or the Wii 2 or some shit like that. And it's like these weird renders some guy made in his basement on his computer because he happened to have that software. Anyways, but yeah, so it's like, yeah, so you can't choose all the games, you miss out on some stuff. And so I decided that was my fate for the PlayStation stuff and the Xbox stuff. Because once I got my 360, I was the cool kid who had the Halo stuff, the Guitar Hero stuff, the Rock Band stuff. Some of these things I'm naming are obviously on PlayStation, but I had the Gears of War, the Halo, and yeah, I don't know, I forgot the other exclusives, but it was just, those are the things that made Xbox. And I ended up making more friends and sticking even more to the Xbox series. And then as years go on, you kind of forget that you forgot certain franchises. You kind of see them every once in a while. You know, obviously the Ratchet and Clank series. I'm pretty sure they skipped the PS4, and then the PS5 they made that Rift one. But that's so many years later, right? And it's just, it's insane to think about that. You grow up playing like these certain franchises. Like for me, I was playing like some of the Spyro games, a handful of the Crash Bandicoot games. And then, like, on the PlayStation 1, then I moved to the PlayStation 2 naturally with the Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, but I missed out on Sly Cooper. So it's like, and I missed out on God of War, too. So it's interesting that many years later, I can now take on these games, and you kind of hope, you don't really think about this when you make this, you kind of make the decision, but you don't really realize how big this decision is in the terms of, like, your enjoyment of video games and your hobby and stuff. It's just like, you make the choice that in the future, when this becomes more available, more accessible, maybe even emulatable on a computer, right? And I did move on to computers after the Xbox 360. I did not keep buying consoles. And then so it's like, you move on to the computer, and the idea is that eventually the price will go so down, so dirt cheap when the next console comes out, that I'm going to be able to play this and blah, 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 blah. And that was the case for me. I got super lucky. A friend of a friend left his PlayStation here, and PlayStation 3, and I asked another friend for games, and I finally got to play Tools of Destruction, and then finally now, a crack of time. And it's just, it's so interesting that you don't realize, or you don't think you'll lose that childhood contentness. Now, I should add context that I try to be a tree. I try to be a tree. Look at me. I bark. Lamau. No, that was stupid. I'm sorry. I have ADHD, for those who don't know. Anyways. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, I Twitch stream for some context. And when you're also trying to be a Twitch streamer over the years as you switch to PC, you kind of also lose that idea. Because for anyone who was trying to start to be a Twitch streamer, you kind of make games more of a business decision than it is a hobby anymore. And trying to be a Twitch streamer for so many years, it's like, and like, obviously I'm not super successful. I'm a little successful, I would say. Like, I got at least almost 500 followers finally on Twitch, but some could say that's a failure, whatever. Point is, I tried, and I'm still trying, and just having fun with it at this point. But that's another story for another day. Point is that you kind of, especially as you grow older, I am in my mid-20s, and you kind of just, you see games as a Twitch streamer as like, is this going to help me grow, or is this blank? In that race everyone was in who wanted to be a Twitch streamer, as like, oh, I got to get into a niche, I got to play well, I got to commit to a game, but I don't want to be pigeon. It's all these stupid things. And then you just lose sight that, like, playing a video game was for yourself. At least that was my experience. That they're not these things to sit down, experience, and enjoy anymore. They are just these tools for growth in a social media platform, which sounds kind of sickening when you think about turning your hobby into a business. But as you see people who are successful on Twitch and all that stuff, you think, well, as long as I balance what I love, you know, get a Venn diagram here, a circle of games I love, and another circle of games that get you growth, and find that middle area that exists, but it's hard to get unless you have the awareness and the luck and the perseverance to understand what that intersection is properly at the right time and how to execute it. You are doomed for failure as a trying to be a good Twitch streamer, but you know, I digress. Another story for another time. Point being is that you lose the essence of just sitting down and playing a game. I would have the mentality of just looking at games and just like I would sit there and be like, I can't play this. I can't play this in my free time because this could be a good let's play. I should save this for when I stream this on my stream and do that. But then I fall into the trap of my stream. Oh, well, I can't play this on my stream yet because I'm trying to do this content now to try and grow, or maybe this content next week. No, and basically you push it back. You keep telling yourself every time you get the feeling to play a video game just for fun, you get the idea of, no, I shouldn't, or else I'm going to squander my first ever playthrough by not recording it and sharing it with people. Could be gold, who knows? And it's just like that what if that holds you back from just trying and playing new games. Now, I'm happy to say that I've finally come to terms with Twitch just being a platform for my games and not trying to do gimmicks and stuff. I understand that's to make yourself stand out on Twitch, it's good to have a gimmick and stuff and, blow up. But I've honestly, I don't know. I've tried the gimmick and I've put it on YouTube. I'm still trying to do that. Another story for another day. Point is, my Twitch is now what it should have been from the start, as many did use Twitch to play fucking video games. Like, it's kind of insane that we kind of forget the whole point of Twitch was to sit on a couch and just hang out with people and play video games. And now by couch, I mean this metaphorical place we call Twitch chat, right? You play a video game you like, and hopefully people come watch you who are interested in the game, happen to be online, and just talk about the game. It's supposed to be a communal thing, but as years go on and as humanity does what it does best, as like, being a society and like how people behave and react and what they gravitate towards as to their wants, their needs, and things like that, Twitch then becomes this, it morphs. There are metas. Like, as if anyone follows Twitch, there's these metas of like the hot tub meta, the IRL meta, the Pokemon Go meta. It's like, it goes all over the place. And it's very, it's the market, I guess, or the economy of Twitch viewers. I don't know what you would call it. But basically, it's how Twitch goes. And as someone who starts out with the naive idea that one day I could be a successful Twitch streamer just by playing video games in my room like these people, and without any idea of the surrounding aspects of like marketing and business and like time management and a level of luck to be in the right place at the right time, because no matter how successful you are or good at a skill, that skill or success only brings your chances as close as you can to luck. And the luck, and what I'm saying is that like luck is always a factor in anyone's success, but being really good at something and being strategic just gets you closer to be in that position when luck hits your way, right? So, Peter, what the hell are you talking about? I clicked this video because you said something about, I don't even know what I'm going to title this video, but something so it matches everything I'm saying. It took me 13 years to finally play Crack of Time, and you waited. What the hell's your point? What's with all this bullshit? I didn't need to know your life story. Well, for the context of my thought process, you kind of do, because in the end of all this is what I'm saying is that I did enjoy myself playing this game, not streaming it, because I don't have a setup where I stream consoles, only for my PC, right? All the Steam games I own. That was another story where I would just buy Steam games for cheap over the years and then just never play them. That fear of like, oh, I can't play this now. I have to save it for the stream. I can't enjoy this game. And then you don't enjoy games anymore for a while because you get into that Twitch business, games are tools mindset. Anyways, back to the point. I finally played the Crack of Time, a beloved game I wanted to play for, I guess, 13 years. And the whole point is that it's escaped me for so many years and I forgot it. And I forgot I even had it for like 4 years in my living room, right? And it's just like, and I'm just happy to say that when I sat down to play it, I'm the type of gamer that will like to collect everything in the game. I remember playing Up Your Arsenal, the third Ratchet and Clank game for the PS2. I played that game to hell. Like, I maxed out the number of times you could replay that game, because every time you get to the end, you have the option to go challenge mode or whatever it's called and play the game all over again. And it has a counter on your save file, how many times you've done that. It stopped at 99. I did it so many times. I must have been around the age of 8 or 10 at the time. I just kept playing that game and playing that game. I loved Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, even though I found out many years later in my early 20s that the devs actually rushed that game and it wasn't their favorite, which is funny to find that out. But anyways, I digress. So what I'm getting at here is that I actually had time to just sit down and let go. And as you get an adult, you have all these responsibilities, job, family, your role as like a son, a brother, a boyfriend, a spouse, whatever. It's like you when you get those times to let go, and then you can and to realize that you never do lose that childhood sensation of I am experiencing something that just brings me joy. It almost sounds sad, but it's also kind of a reality I think a lot of people can relate to. If I feel like this can't be uncommon with people nowadays, right? With the idea that like we're mixing social media with video games on a platform like Twitch or even YouTube for that matter, anyways. Like it's just insane, like where the market takes it, and by market I mean like where people's behavior directs where these platforms take the content. It's just and how that affects the human, the person that is experiencing this all, the individual at the end of all this is just insane. It's just, yeah. So the fact that I'm putting so much emphasis, so much power, so much passion, I don't even know. It's just emotion into the fact that I'm just talking about it's been 13 years since I played a game from a franchise I forgot about as a kid, but I still felt the joy as if I never left the couch when I was 10, It's just that it's so nice and reassuring to know that that part of me has not died. As grim as that sounds, and I guess I made that sentence. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And it's just the idea that, you guys should just realize that if you're in that, I guess as a tip, if you're trying to be a Twitch streamer and you see things sadly that way as I did, where games are tools and to never play a game for the first time without recording it, that you should just give yourself the permission. Now, I'm still trapped in it in the sense that, like, yes, I the only reason why I played that game is because I can't record it on the console. I don't have that set up, so fuck it, I'll just play it for myself anyways. But then I realized there are some games out there people just don't want to watch, so I consider those, grindy games like Don't Starve. I was trying to stream like 8 years ago, and people my closest fans were telling me, or followers, I should say, telling me like, oh fuck, bro, remember you used to play Don't Starve? I would kill myself because I hate that game, but I like watching you. So it was like a mismatch. And so when I think about those times, my followers have said something like that to me. I would take these games nowadays and be like, oh, well, this is a grindy, boring ass game that's quite niche. It doesn't really follow into my strengths as like an entertainer. For me personally, who's talking to you right now through this video, is like, I don't know, I got a deep voice, I can make funny voices, I have ADHD, so my thought processes kind of go everywhere. It's fun to put me in situations such as in games, like I was playing Fallout New Vegas for a bit and stuff like that. It's like in scenarios where I'm giving choices and decisions and brought into new situations, that's where I think I shine. Playing a game where I'm just trying to not die, it could be fun, as long as there's like other players to talk to and stuff like that. That would probably be good for whatever. But point at the end of the day is that like it's I guess this is kind of not only a realization for me to just to relax again and to just like realize like video games are supposed to be fun, and that's what my Twitch is going to be on from now on. That I've tried to do the whole like be big on Twitch thing and realize it's just not worth it compared to like trying to shoot your shot on YouTube. Your video can pop off at any time like a lottery ticket. Twitch, you really gotta strategize and stuff. And I have been growing on Twitch more than ever, but at some point it just hit a wall, and that's where I was just like, fuck this. I'm just gonna put all the shit on YouTube and just move on, and then just do some other stuff. Again, another story for another time. I realize anyone who clicked this video who might be interested at this point, thank you for listening so far. But just, it's not what you clicked on the video for in the meantime. And I even talked about if I enjoyed the game. I fucking loved the game. I loved A Crack in Time. Like, Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time was honestly, like, it was so... That's another thing. If you come back to a series and the game you missed is actually so epically made... I'm using the word epic unironically. I know the idea of the word saying epic sounds kind of cringe or whatever, but whatever. There's no better way to describe it than an epic adventure. It really was like... I can't imagine how good Ratchet and Clank Rift is, but I just remember at the time when I couldn't play the game, people were saying A Crack in Time is where it's at, Tools and Destructions, whatever, but A Crack in Time is just like what Ratchet and Clank fans would hope the next generation of their franchise would be. And you could still tell, like, Insomniac still had love for the game and did what they could, and they always have that little Insomniac Museum Easter egg at the end where you get to see all the concept art and the things that didn't make it in the final game, and like a 3D museum in the game if you collect all the items and stuff like that. And so it was just like I guess a little bit of a reminder that, people in this world still care about the things you love, even though if they're still attached to like money and business and you know, like, and I mean, like, you know, the people who were behind Insomniac Games were luckily a company of people who enjoyed the game they made, while under a company that's generally just hiring them to make money for them, right? But it's just good that they had that, and I'm just so glad when I came back to this, it really had that, you know, that spirit of a good video game, of people who cared about their characters, and it just like, if this was the game they had to end off on, like, beautiful. This was it. It was great. And so it's just so lovely to just see this game the way it is. And it's funny that, you know, Tools and Destruction, I would argue, and that game is quite forgettable for me, but like, I would argue that game was a little more structured to the PS2 ones that we all know and love. So again, I think they just, you know, play it safe, make a really good looking Ratchet and Clank game, but just this time around, just keep it close to what people know, so they don't think it's crazy. Just, you know, they just want to see the graphics. PS3 at the time, super amazing. Wow, look at the shiny car in Gran Turismo. Wow, look at Resistance. Wow, Uncharted, man with hair and gun. Wow, you know, it's just amazing. And then Ratchet and Clank to walk in on all that, just wow. You know, that's basically what I'm getting at. So yeah, yeah, so again, so I guess this video has become a bit of a warning to those who Twitch stream or decide this thing to start Twitch streaming. And, you know, and I guess my point way earlier in this video when I was talking about how like we're in an age of like battle royale and stuff, and gaming has gotten old enough that if you go back 10, 20 years, or let's say, well, this game came out in 2009, which is like about 15 years. So yeah, if you go back 20 years, well, like, what was 20 years ago? The year 2000. That was like PS1 era. Like, that's not, like, in my brain, that's not that far. But like, when you think of the number, it's pretty far. You know what I mean? It's like, if you think of the generation and how those video games you played on those consoles made you feel, that doesn't feel far. But as you get older, the years kind of blend, and it just doesn't seem far in your head, but it is if you just like said, hey, hey kid, what are you playing? And he's playing like Fortnite or something, or like Apex Legends, and you're like, oh, and he asks you, what did you used to play as a kid? And you mention a game, he's like, that's old. That's like 10 years old, and that's old. And to you, that's like 10 years. That's not old. And you realize, oh fuck, I've been on this planet for more than 10 years. More than this fucking little shit picking his nose and playing, he's doing the floss with freaking Goku in Fortnite. Oh my god. Anyways. And somehow you look like the goofy one. Well, the thing is, video games are for kids, so yes, you do look like the old goofy one. But anyways, I digress. Digress. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get my thoughts of finally beating this game and collecting like 90% of the stuff. Fuck that trophy for beating the Quark game. What is it called? Fire Up or something, where you have to get 10,000 points in that arcade game in the game. Fuck that trophy. I'm not spending my time. Back in the day, if I was like, I don't know, 15 still or something, I would get all the trophies on the PS3. Hell yeah, that's why I don't have Xbox 360. Till this day, I'm missing one achievement on Halo 3, and I think it's where I'm supposed to get like no deaths or something on one map in the DLC, which I'll never fucking get now. Anyways, but yeah, so yeah, so this game, this video is kind of just, you know, it's a bit of a love letter. It's a bit of a warning. It's a bit of just a thought dump of just, you know, games, you know, just don't forget that gaming is a hobby to enjoy yourself. I know most of you listening to this video probably don't Twitch stream, or maybe you do, I don't know. But it's just like, I didn't want it to be about the whole Twitch streaming thing, but I guess it is a little, or half this video. But it's just that, you know, don't forget that, like, just 10 years can go by, and then it's like you think you're gonna play games, and it's the whole point, I guess, is that like I kept putting off thinking, no, I'm gonna play this game later. I'll play this game later. 10 years went by, and you know what? It's a sweet number in the sense that it was kind of perfect. I got the free stuff, worked out, but who knows? 5 more years could have went by. 10, 20 years could have went by. 30 years go by. The point is, people, is that you gotta just play these games if you're a gamer and just like have fun. I'm not talking about specifically the Ratchet & Clank games, just any game from your childhood that you always want to try or missed out from the other console, right? You know, nowadays you could go on a computer and emulate stuff, and nowadays you could even buy those consoles for dirt cheap. Like, it's kind of crazy that it really does pay off to just grow up and just, you know, progress in life, and then be able to go back and save your money, but still get that joy, right? But realize time is a finite thing as you get older, as you gain responsibility, as you basically just grow in this world. Hopefully you're growing, and hopefully you're not stagnant. If you feel stagnant, I hope you find your way to keep growing. But the point is that time is finite, like I just said. resources, money, time, and what is it? Money, time, and energy are all, you can only have two at a time. You can't have all three. So, you get older, you don't have enough energy, but you have time, or no, you don't have enough time, but you don't have energy, so you only have money. So, I don't know. I'm fucking up the analogy, but some of you will know what I mean. The point is, try to have fun with your games. Like, I still have, like, Destroy All Humans 2. I never fully played, but I played the first game to heck, like I said, with the Ratchet & Clank games, and I finally want to play the Destroy All Humans 2. And it's, like, things like that, right, that I have on my wish list. And I got to go back through all the games, and I've just played Silent Hill 1 for the first time on stream, on a playthrough on this channel. And it's so many things, so many games that I'm finally ready to turn Twitch into a place to play games, and it's just not worth it to really care about the fucking like race for Twitch, because I realize, like, at this point in the game, when the Twitch game, or the Twitch meta, if you will, that, like, it's absolutely impossible for me to, like, gain any traction unless I do something flippin' amazing, where I'm just, like, so good at a new game or something like that, or, like, I don't know, it's hard for a boy to get noticed out there nowadays with so much competition, because the longer something is out there, the harder it is to break into it, right? It's like early YouTube, and it's funny, because even if you tried to get famous on YouTube, right, you didn't really expect rewards and stuff, so it's like, it wasn't hard, but it still kind of was, because it was an era where people didn't know what to think of YouTube. Nowadays, you gotta, like I said, with the Twitch stuff, you gotta think about, how do you market your video, the thumbnail, how do you tell a good story, when all you saw as a kid watching YouTube was, wow, Game Grumps, I like seeing two friends play a game and have a good time. Oh, wow, I'm watching, I don't know, fucking Smosh. These guys are just two kids in their backyard, and they're having fun, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views. Wow, like, it sounds so, like, empowering as a kid who just likes to goof around and sees other kids or teenagers goof off and just have a fun time, or young adults or old adults, who cares? But the point is that you can watch people have fun, and other people surround that as a community and think that is fun, and I have that kind of fun too, and just connect in that way, where someone's watching your video and they just enjoy what you're doing because they know how that experience, that video game they're playing, makes them feel, or that thing they're doing as a skit makes them feel, because they do skits at home with their homemade video camera or something like that, right? It's just all about interconnectedness, and as the game goes on, as I just said, it gets harder and harder to get noticed. It gets harder because the standards go higher and higher, and then eventually, who knows, a new platform will arise, and then a new meta starts for that platform, right? As early as that will. Early adopters don't necessarily reign to the top, but they get respect for staying in the game, and then people who understand the game better than the early adopters usually reign supreme in any kind of marketplace. Anyways, I think I've said what I've needed to say. I don't know. I just wanted to start with the fact that it's been so long since I played this game. I'm glad I am. It's just a reassurance to myself, and to many others who might be in my situation, to anything similar or relevant or relatable to my situation as I explained it, that, it's just so funny that we can go so many years and just forget that part of ourselves that was invested in something as simple as a video game, right? And then just feel, I don't want to say nirvana, that sounds extreme, but, like, really feel, the world doesn't exist, and you're just enjoying the game, and the time goes by so fast, and it's just that enjoyment, that contentness that we will tend to forget as time goes on, as we get older. And if you're a teenager listening to this, it's kind of a paradox, because I want you to be aware you have little time, but at the same time, I don't want you to be aware so you can enjoy your little time. It's funny, like, I could go back and tell myself, hey, do this and this and this, because this will happen in the future, but then that'll totally fuck up my feeling of freedom as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ignorance is bliss is what I'm saying, I guess. So, I don't know. I think I've said what I've had to say. I'm probably going to finish this video and then think back, like, damn, I'm going to make a part 2. I forgot to mention the most important thing I wanted to mention, but yeah, I don't know. Crack Time's a beautiful game, a great game to come back as someone who loved the Ratchet & Clank series. If you're a Twitch streamer, relax on the Twitch streaming. If you're trying to get successful on something, just get really good at something, be strategic, do research first, and then shoot your shot. That's my best advice to someone who's not successful, so that's at your discretion to take my advice there. Fair enough, if you want to look at my numbers and think, I'm not listening to this fucking guy, fuck this guy, he blows horses in the fucking backyard. That was kind of whatever. Stupid sayings, okay? I don't know, I'm just trying to say, like, fuck this guy, right? As in me. Anyways, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this talk, whoever's listening, and I'll see you next time. I guess this is a Ranger Rant, which is a series I have that used to be a secret podcast, but I'm just going to start ranting about things when I have a good idea on my head. So I guess that's what these are now. All right, see you guys. See you next time. Cheers.